Hey everybody, this is the Post Movie Podcast. I'm Steve Head.
And I'm John Black.
And on this week's episode, we're going to discuss the new Ben Affleck movie, The Town. And we're also going to talk about the premiere of The Town, which John and I had the pleasure of attending a couple of days ago. And then we're going to get into our picks of the week. I'm guessing the picks of the week section is going to be short, but who knows where we're going to go with it.
You can never tell. We never know.
Never know. I've got a stack of DVDs in front of me. Each one of them I could discuss, but...
No, just pick one. Pick one, Uncle Steve. You can't talk about them all.
I'm doing two.
Two? Well, all right then. We better get jamming.
Man, The Town.
Should we talk about the event first?
Let's do the event.
Press event.
When was that? Wednesday or Thursday? It was Wednesday. Last Wednesday.
Yeah. And it was in historic Fenway Park, which is the reason we are talking about it all, I think.
It was pretty sweet.
Oh, it was great.
Well, we should probably say that we had both seen the film beforehand. We'd seen it on the Monday prior, but getting an invitation to see a movie at Fenway Park is kind of like, well, how the hell is that going to happen?
Right. It was more of a curiosity factor than anything else. I wanted to see how they were going to put up the screen, what it would look and sound like. The talent was going to be there. Would we get to interview him? Would we get to see him? None of that really worked, to be honest. I don't think I saw my picture of Ben Affleck. It's funny. It looks kind of like a ghost image in a black frame because I was so far away.
Right. The intro that he did for the movie came out as like a glowing blob amidst, at the center of all these lights.
Right.
Because that's all there was. I mean, when he came out before the movie started, all the lights in the park went out. And one spotlight, just hit him with one spotlight. So it was like he was this glowing glob before the movie screen. But before we get to that, I want to say that I think if we had planned better, we probably would have been able to cover it better. But the press for it was really tight. And it
was all national.
And Warner Brothers, I mean, the people I spoke with at Warner Brothers were perfectly nice about the whole thing and totally understanding, that they only had so many people that could, be down there. And I don't think it's like totally Warner Brothers doing. I think the Red Sox are very, very particular about anything that goes on close to that field and who gets on it and what's going to happen. They are really strict. This is the second premiere that I don't know if you were at the Fever Pitch 5 years ago.
No.
They were really strict about certain things. Anything going on around the park or the dugout is like, hell, you walk too far out into the field and that is forbidden. You stick 1 foot into the dugout and some, goon is going to tell you that's as far as you go.
It was a goon, right, Steve?
Well, sure. I mean, when I covered Fever Pitch 5 years ago, my friend Erin is such a Red Sox fan, and I invited her to the premiere, and she was so very excited. And we had an opportunity just to sit in the dugout, and so I had her come over to the dugout. And we were just about to sit down when these guys,
goons,
stopped us from doing so. It was kind of like, holy crap! And the same sort of thing kind of happened last night at the park when, they separated the sort of the red carpet line area from
the masses.
It was sitting from the to see the the screening. And if you got too close to where the press was covering the red carpet stuff, they'd ask you what you were doing. They would they wouldn't even let you get way up close to the edge to take a photo, which it was like getting too far up to one side. They were jacketed Red Sox goons, yeah. Policing the great crops of chairs.
The goon squad. Well,
just that one moment. I mean, I did that because my girlfriend Sarah wanted me to try to get a picture of John Hamm, and I tried to go over and do that. But I've also learned that as a journalist, I'm grateful for everything that I get to cover and do, and I would never try to overstep my boundary as to like do some stupid. I don't even, when we do interviews, I don't even ask for autographs. That's just my personal thing. I don't. Other journalists do that. I don't stick my camera where it's not supposed to be. I mean, I don't, ask for photos during interviews or anything like that. I mean, I just don't do anything that blurs the line between you're there, I'm here, you know.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'll walk up to try and get a picture of John Hamm, who's on the other side of the baseball field,
Right.
maybe 50 feet away, and if it turns out blurry, whatever, but I'm not going to push it, you know. But
Well,
there were some people that, in the crowd there that were,
well, we're around celebrity a lot more than most people are. So when they see, there was my two favorite moments of the whole thing was that. Well, I have three favorite moments of the premiere. One was that a woman with blonde hair was walking up those stairs about 3 sections over,
mm-hmm.
and everyone started going, "Oh, that's what's her name? That's a Gossip Girl. That's a Gossip Girl." It wasn't. It wasn't the Gossip Girl. What's her name? Blake Lively. It wasn't Blake Lively. It was just a blonde.
Right.
But they get so overhyped by everything. It's like a blonde head walks by and that's got to be Blake Lively.
Right. Well, she was there. It just wasn't.
Yeah, but she didn't even show up until 20 minutes later. This was just a blonde woman walking up the stairs.
Right.
The other thing when the movie's showing and there's a scene of a car turning down the street and the woman behind me was like, "Oh my God, that's my fucking street. My fucking street's in the movie."
Yeah,
she's losing her shit because her street's in the movie, and that was kind of funny. That people again, it's that they get wrapped up. Her street. She's a townie. She's from Charlestown, and her street is.
That's
on
a word
the
you don't want to throw around in Charlestown.
Townie?
Yeah. So says. Wasn't there a piece on it in the front page of the Globe today that townies that don't like to be referred to as townies?
I don't know. But then when we saw someone drinking beer, and
and by the way, there was free beer.
Free beer, free popcorn,
free water, beer, popcorn.
Well, the thing is, when we asked this guy, we saw a guy walking with beer. We said, "How much is the beer?" And he goes, "It's free. This is all on Ben." And it was just like, to me, that was why we were even in Fenway Park.
I was like, I'm out of here. Anybody want a beer?
It was locals who, they're not Hollywood, but they got their own premiere. I don't know how they gave away tickets or how you got tickets, but
I don't know how that worked. But I can tell you that a large number of the crew was there. I had that worked on the film, and
the crew and the extras. I mean, every time someone walked in the back of the frame, there was a woohoo from the back of the crowd because
Yeah, and during the end credits, there was some applause.
I didn't stay.
Oh yeah, well yes. You had already seen the film. I think you got your fill of the experience.
I did because let's face it, it didn't sound good. It didn't look good. We were sat at such an angle.
I thought that's the best possible presentation you can do for an outdoor film like that.
I don't know where
I sat. But we were at a bad angle.
From my seat, there was a light shining through the screen, so it was like this big bright light through every forehead that was.
Oh, right, there was that.
Like, I've already seen it. It didn't. I don't think it generated the same intensity in an outdoor setting the way it did in the theater, and it's a pretty intense. There are lots of intense scenes, so I'd seen it. I was uncomfortable.
I think it's a great film, and we'll get to that. But I think I also want to tell people that part of our curiosity about being here for this. The whole idea of showing a movie at Fenway Park is how are they going to do it? And early on I had heard they were going to project it onto the Green Monster, which in case anybody doesn't know is the large left field
wall,
home run wall. It's like 30 feet high or something like that. And but I didn't think that was really going to happen because they're so particular about letting people onto the field. How is that possible?
The goons would have stopped it.
I looked online to see if I could get some photos of the setup because they had to build this all in a day, this whole setup. And I did see one photo online that was sort of a blurry photo of this contraption that they built above the dugout. And I thought it was something they built above the Red Sox dugout, but they built it above the visitors dugout.
Right.
This giant rigging, it's like a giant box. Like 50 feet high, 100 feet wide. I don't know. It was huge. This giant rigged contraption. Like something like if you were going to build an outdoor concert stage, this is sort of what it was like. But at the forefront of the stage, above the dugout, they put up it was a giant movie screen. It was really pristine white movie screen. In fact, I'll put a photo of it online. So, if anybody wants to check it out, we'll put it on the website, post-movie.net. So basically you have this giant boxed contraption over the visitors' dugout with the screen facing the grandstands. And at the very back of the grandstand is this huge projection unit, like this team of guys sitting in this another black box type of contraption where they projected the film. And then everybody was kind of like sitting, in the on the visitor side grandstands.
Right.
And in front of the screen, maybe 20 rows back, they had all the reserved seats for the celebrities. They had like Affleck's family and other Boston celebrities, and then the cast. So in one row, I think they had John Hamm and Chris Cooper and Jeremy Renner and Jennifer Garner, and they had the real primo seats.
Right. Right.
And then I guess we should also say, so that was along the visitors' dugout, but along the Red Sox dugout, they had the separate press area, which was like this, I don't know if it was really a red carpet. It was a carpet, basically, that was like along the side of the field. That was lined with posters where all the accredited press could do interviews with the cast, and the cast would then just walk across the field and go to, get their seats behind the visitors' dugout for the screening. So it was two separate areas, and they let us in around 6:45 or so. 7.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and it was neat to, they had for a lot of people got these free blankets that were embroidered with the town on them, black blankets and whatnot, and they had people walking around handing out popcorn and drinks and stuff, and they helped you find your seats. It was really neat. It was kind of an experience just sitting there and seeing the park looked so great. And then, we were all kind of wondering what was going to happen. And then it started late. It started like around 9 or so when everything just went black, and Affleck came out and he, thanked, everybody locally who worked on the film for allowing him to do it. And he also thanked Warner Brothers, kind of made a joke about the idea that he threw out to Warner Brothers about actually having, he was like, yeah, well, how about we do it, Fenway Park? And, it was kind of funny the way he presented that. Affleck does have a sense of humor. It was a pretty major thing, in the way of like, that was a lot of money we saw on display. It was a lot of, in a way, it was like pomp and circumstance,
But like I said, he's a local boy and he wanted to thank the city. So I think, he did the right thing and he invited the right people. So, again, but I was just bored by it, after about half an hour of.
Yeah. I can see how it had your fill.
Yeah.
And we'd seen how it was done, and it worked. It was an experience. And then after the screening, they had another exclusive party or something under.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Well, no, that part. No journalists, as far as I was told, no journalists were allowed to go to that one. But it was under the grandstands on the opposite end of the.
Was it at the bleacher bar?
The VIP after party. So enough with the premiere stuff. Let's get on to the review.
Miss Kesey, I would like to start with your abduction.
4 men made me open the safe. They took me as a hostage.
Were you able to see anything at all through the blindfold?
No.
There are over 300 bank robberies in Boston every year. Most of these professionals live in a 1 square mile neighborhood called Charlestown.
Do your parents still live here?
My mother moved away, my father, he don't get out much. I'm thinking about making a change.
Making a change. Either you got heat or you don't.
I'm putting this whole town in my rear view.
You grew up right here. Same rules that I did. She's the one person that can give us my facts.
She didn't see anything. Get that in your head. This is the not screwing around crew. So find me something that looks like a print, because this not screwing around thing is about to go both ways.
John, what did you think?
It was, I was impressed. I was impressed by everything. Is it, it's funny listening to the TV ads for it. It's Oscar material. It's this and that. I don't think it's the greatest, movie of the year or Oscar material necessarily. But we see so many bad movies. When we see just a good, solid thriller like this, I think it just blows people away. And it's a good, solid thriller. Acting works. The story's strong. But the thing that impressed me most was Affleck's directing. There's a chase scene through the narrow streets of the North End here.
I loved it.
That
I
is
loved
just
that
insane.
scene. It's like, how the hell do you do that? There's no way in hell you're going to be able to make it through North End in these narrow streets. I mean, it's like, you've seen James Bond, in these little whatever cars racing through Paris or something like that. The North End is tight with one-way streets and cars that could come out of any alley at any, whatever. And it was tight. And I don't even think that there's really anywhere around there that you could really open up, to get some real speed going. But that was a really great, that was a cool, great scene. It was a great scene. It was a cool, great scene. Great.
But, that's the, so people, we should tell them no, if they haven't already found out, it's about a group of, set in Charlestown, Mass. It's about a group of local guys who are bank robbers, and they pull off a bank job in Harvard Square. They take one of the bank managers, this woman, as a hostage to get away. They let her go, but then they find out she lives in the same neighborhood as they do, even though she's not a local.
Right. It is just a freak chancy thing here that the woman that I think it was Jeremy Renner who said, things kind of got messed up towards the end of that haul. So they took a hostage with them just to, as like an insurance policy, scared the crap out of her. These are guys who they never intended to hurt any of the people that, they're robbing. They're like the caring criminals, the kind that are like, it's like they'll put a gun to your head but say, don't do anything. This is not your money we're after. It's that kind of thing. It's not you. But they basically scared the crap out of her, blindfold her, push her out of the van, tell her to keep on walking on her toes till her toes hit the water. It just turns out that when they took her driver's license, they find out that she lives in the same neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And in Charlestown, you're going to cross paths with that person.
Right. So what to do? And, Jeremy Renner.
Renner.
How do you pronounce it?
Renner? Right.
He's the guy who thinks that, she's a loose end. We gotta whack her. Gotta kill her. But Affleck, takes a smarter approach. And he goes, let me find out more about her. And he ends up having an affair with her. Which
leads to some great scenes, because it's like some camera cat and mouse going on here, because you can't see these guys. They're wearing their Skeletor masks while they're doing the robbery, but she sees Jeremy Renner's fighting Irish tattoo on the back of his neck. This is the one telltale thing that's got it's like that this is going to somehow come up, and the way it plays into another scene that they filmed at the Grendel's restaurant in Cambridge, terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got three actors in one scene, each of them knowing something that the other person doesn't know and not wanting to reveal it. It's like a triple. You've got Jeremy Renner getting so psycho pissed at Ben Affleck's character for doing what he's doing at this very moment, except the characters can't say it. And that was right. It's so tight. It was cool.
Well, and the thing is, by that point in the movie, Jeremy Renner has established himself as such a loose cannon.
He is.
That violence is present in every scene, even if he's just stopping with a beer and talking with friends. You never relax watching him on the screen.
He is the real intriguing character in this film.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, so all in all, and big shootout at Fenway Park, which was one of the reasons I guess they had the screening there. There's a big.
Oh yeah, like the last quarter of the movie. And John Hamm, very authoritative, well cast as the FBI.
Does he really have a future? I mean, people don't like him. He's not attractive. I've never seen women just go nuts for anyone like that in a long time. Every woman I talked to was like, "Is John Hamm there? Is he going to be there? Is he in it? What's he do? Is he there? Can I talk to him?" Like, yeah. I don't watch Mad Men. I don't know much about this guy.
John, you've got to watch Mad Men. It's a terrific show.
I got
Sarah watches it.
I'm already 3
My
seasons.
friends watch it.
Sarah, we're not friends anymore?
Immediately what happens is when I think of a TV show, I start putting together a list of, who amongst my friends watches this? Mm-hmm. And your friend, whose name I forget, who went to the premiere with you, she was there because she really wanted to see Meg. She wanted to see John Hamm, just like Sarah did. I mean, forget about Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Oh, he's old hat. He's a married old fart,
The ladies were there for John Hamm. And so was I.
Yeah. I don't really remember him in. I don't think I've seen him in much. He was in Howl. But
Yes.
he's not in that movie that much. But he's good. He's good as the FBI guy. He's got, he can deliver a line. I don't know that much about him to compare him to, this is that different than Mad Men or whatever.
I really enjoyed the give and take of the characters in this, especially some of the interrogation scenes. And why Sean Burns dislikes this movie so, I just, for the life of me, man, whatever.
Shout out to Sean.
Whatever. Shout out to Sean. Yeah. Loved that shootout though. Loved it all around.
Oh yeah,
it was terrific.
Yeah, it's a solid action movie with good characters, good story. The ending, whatever.
Oh, I loved it. I'll even go. I loved Jerry Gregg's what's his name? Gregson Williams' score to the movie, which they were playing before the at the screening. Terrific. Rarely this summer have I remembered scores from films, but this one, there were moments of it that got me. It doesn't happen so much anymore because, effects have just sort of really taken over in the sound category. But I remember How to Train Your Dragon had a really terrific score and everything. I wonder if that was the same composer. I don't know. But The Town really liked the score. And I loved Blake Lively. Sorry, Rebecca Hall, who was terrific in Please Give. She's fantastic here. I think, an argument can be made that, why would Affleck's characters do something as so stupid as to try to pursue this one girl who could rat them out to the FBI. He didn't have to go as far as he did, I think, but these guys are townies. They're not going to move out of town. I think maybe there was this motive they had to, if they could scare her, maybe they could get her to move out of town or something like that. But
right.
You knew it wasn't going to work out like that.
Nope. It's like I said, well done. But do you think it's let's just figure this out. Do you think it's Oscar material, whatever that means?
Well,
do you see Oscar nominations coming for this one?
Good question. I don't know what to say there, but I'll say this. This was really one of the most entertaining films I've seen this year. One of the better films of not summer, but over the past 4 months. Whether or not it's Oscar material, I didn't really think so. I mean, Warner Brothers is trying to sell it like The Departed or Mystic River. But,
right.
Best adapted screenplay, maybe? This was based on a novel. Jeremy Renner could get a supporting role here. Nod. I think he was a real standout.
I think with the Best Picture thing being pushed out to 10 nominations, it might get some attention, but only because you have to come up with 10 better movies.
This year, it might have a chance then.
This is more like a very well. This is craftsmanship. This is very well crafted filmmaking.
Doesn't it surprise you that Affleck did this? Automatically I don't want to like it.
No, I don't have that. I don't have that benefit backlash a lot of people do. I kind of like the guy.
Like the idea that he's overrated, but Ben Affleck is a smart dude.
Yeah, I don't think. Why do you think he's overrated?
I think that some years ago, earlier, in his post Kevin Smith career, he was cast in some things that I didn't think he was right for. The whole
Phantom?
Jack Ryan, the whole Daredevil. God, was there another big role that he got that I'm not recalling? But
Bounce.
The bigger roles.
Shakespeare in Love.
I didn't think he was right. I see him more as the pithy Kevin Smith dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good at that, and he's actually pretty good at being a bad guy too.
He's not the pithy Kevin Smith dude in this movie.
No, he's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy that only did it because economics forced him to do so. And plus, as you see played out in the film, the fish you swim with, that's kind of what you're going to end up like. Water rises to its level, and so he's kind of influenced by some pretty shitty people. One of them being Jeremy Renner's character, and Blake Lively. made some connections here that, from birth that are hard to untie. But I also really loved the town because it's, in a way, like Ocean's 11. You get the methodical nature of being able to pull off a heist. It's very entertaining in that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very entertaining. So, John, what do you
yes.
think? It's Oscar material?
No, I think it's, again, a good, solid action movie.
It is a solid film.
And it's already, as we speak here at 3:30 on Sunday afternoon, it's already number one at the box office with 28 million.
Yeah.
So it beat out Easy A and The Devil and Alpha and Omega.
The Devil, man. That's another one that we would have liked to have reviewed on this show, but they didn't screen it for press and wasn't able to make the time for it over the past day or two. So
that won't be around next week.
So, here and gone. So
yeah,
I still want to see it.
Anyway, I think in general I would highly recommend seeing The Town. I definitely think it's worth people's trouble and time and even money. I would pay to see this.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right. Picks of the week. Notice I said picks, plural.
Yeah. All right. Give me your top one.
My top one is The Cleveland Show.
Okay.
The Cleveland Show, complete season 1. I've been watching Family Guy. I think it was season 8. I forget.
Mm-hmm.
Really digged it. Had never seen an episode of The Cleveland Show until a couple days ago. Started watching it. Loved it. Love it. I mean, I'm halfway through, and I'm Cleveland Show, man. It's terrific. I mean, I want to say something profound about the artistry and whatnot about the Cleveland Show, but what is there to say? I mean, it's just some funny shit. It really is. His I don't know, and the DVD comes with a this cover that has a it's like a protruding mustache. You get like a giant felt mustache on top of the on the cover of the thing, and that's why you should buy it, because it's a really nice feeling mustache.
I've often bought things because of the way the mustache feels.
Yeah, it's the best feeling DVD I've ever had. It's just I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of an adjective that doesn't exist, but the Cleveland Show, his son, his family, the whole damn thing, just funny. Just funny. Okay. So I'm 2 discs into the 4-disc set, and I'm trying to find one of my favorite episodes, but I love them all. I mean, in watching Family Guy this week, there was one terrific episode on there, which was the Back to the Future episode, where the guy was trying to find the door to his DeLorean. I'm sure Family Guy fans love that one, but everything about the Cleveland Show is just it's. There's this one segment where they make fun of. Have you ever seen it's on YouTube. It's this video of a guy, this huge black guy, kind of rotund, sells furniture, and he does this rap. It's like the Furniture Warehouse rap that Cleveland parodies. Very funny. So, moving on from the Cleveland Show. I did also receive The League, which is the show on FX.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's these guys that are they all kind of live in the same neighborhood, and they're into this fantasy football league. Hence the show is called The League, and it stars Mark Duplass and one of the other guys from who is a minor character on 30 Rock, whose name I can't recall at the moment. Saw 2 episodes of it. Watched the first episode with Sarah. She so disliked it. I so loved it, and we have so much in common. But this one, we went separate directions on it. Totally. I was totally down with how these guys, sort of live their gaming life. Because I'm way into gaming. I do board gaming and card gaming and, all that fantasy card gaming, Lord of the Rings, nerd garbage. And in a way,
you might want to stop.
The League is kind of like that. So I highly recommend that. And thirdly, I'm going to discuss.
Whoa. Thirdly?
I'm going for 3. Hey, I've given me an inch. I'm going to take a little. All right. Mill Creek has a collection of 50 martial arts classics that has the Sonny Chiba Street Fighter movies on it. Bruce Lee. Loved it. Watching, the Sonny Chiba movies, Street Fighter and Return of the Street Fighter. Very bummed out, though, that it does not have Lady Street Fighter or Sister Street Fighter on that. Other than that, really cool. except for a couple of there is some bad stuff on here. There's a couple of just atrocious films. But there's one kind of like surprising entry on here called Karate Kids USA.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an early film from Curtis Hanson, director of, LA Confidential and,
Right. 8 Mile.
Yeah, 8 Mile. So that was kind of a surprise. You get to see the growing pains of Curtis Hanson.
Yeah.
Actually, the entire movie is available on YouTube as well, which may be the case with a lot of these films, if Mill Creek is putting them on DVD. So
Probably, yeah.
Right.
I think that's where they get a lot of stuff. Now, are you done? Is 3 the limit?
I've done the triple.
Okay. I got one. Sorry, I've only got the one. This one, it's an anime. It's called Hetalia. Hetalia. Hetalia Axis Powers. It's the story. It takes place between let's say the beginning of World War I through the end of World War II, and it's a look at the Axis powers: Germany, Italy, Japan versus America, Russia, China, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they're all played by kids, like these cute anime kids. It's rude, it's racist, it's hilariously funny.
Well, I hope you're breaking up there. I hope it comes through.
It's
I hope
rude. No, it's the story of the Axis powers in World War I and II, but it's rude, it's racist, and it's hilariously funny. They Italy. The guy who plays Italy is a coward. He runs away from everything. The guy who's America tries to consume everything. The British guy, they have a Canadian guy who disappears as he's on screen because no one cares about Canada. It's really sharply written. The episodes are maybe 10, 15 minutes long tops, and there's 26 in season 1, so it's pretty short viewing time for anime. Watching this, my jaw was hanging open sometimes at some of the stuff they say and do, and I was like, and I was looking online, and I guess there were protests from various countries about this anime when it came out. It was banned they tried to ban it in Italy and in Korea. I just think they don't have a sense of humor. It's really, really funny, and the animation is wild.
Really, what company put this out?
Funimation. Funimation Entertainment put it out. It came out last Tuesday. The only disappointment is, you watch 26 episodes of this stuff and you want to know some behind the scenes stuff, and the extras are lame. It's pretty wild.
I want to check it out. So we wrapping it up for this week?
We are, sir.
Wait, I know you've got a Patriots game to get to. I feel like I should be, like in a hurry to see this, but I don't know.
It's Patriots Jets.
Okay.
You can fake it.
I'm really a Bear fan though, and I'm.
Send your hate mail.
That means there's a 1985 issue with the Patriots.
Yeah. They should get over it.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, that's it for this week.
So let us know what you think of the show. Send us an email at postmoviepodcast@gmail.com. We did get a couple of emails this week. We got an email from a filmmaker who's looking to show us his film, and he's going to be sending us a copy of it, which is, so we can talk about it, which is really cool. So if there's anyone else out there who's a filmmaker that would like to get their stuff talked about, send us an email at postmoviepodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at twitter.com/SteveHead. John should be on Twitter at twitter.com/John Black, but that's another issue.
Wow.
And all of our episodes are online at post-movie.net. And if you get the chance, leave us a review on iTunes. I don't know how you find Post Movie Podcast on iTunes, but it's there. I promise.
Search for it. It's worth it.
All right. Until next week, I'm Steve Head.
And I'm John Black.
Adios.